Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 255. My name is Dan. I'll be your host, and look who I have today with my co-host, Kevin from Sonic Boom TV. How's it going?
Hey everybody, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. Is it raining where you are?
No, it is not raining today, but it rained last week a lot.
Yeah, it's today is anyway. It's been like 2-3 days of just pouring rain here, but
Yeah, we get and basically down here in Louisiana, we get it's 3 o'clock, it's going to rain thing, and just about every day for a good bit of time through the summer, it's like that,
yeah,
where it'll be really, really hot, and then all of a sudden it'll rain for maybe a half an hour to an hour, and then it cools off for the rest of the day.
there you go. All right, well, that's what we have here. Like last week was super hot, then the rain. Whatever. All right, so today, we are going to do an album ranking of a U.S. band called Zebra. Now, I'm gonna get Kevin to talk about these guys a little bit more because he knows more about the history, than I do. But what I will say from Canada, the first time I ever heard of Zebra, of all places, was and I'll put the picture here because I don't have it anymore, but it was a cassette. It was called Masters of Metal, and it had Twisted Sister, Scorpions, Y&T, Dokken, all those bands, and Zebra. And I would say it was probably 1986 when I got that cassette.
What song was on it?
Who's Behind the Door?
Who's Behind the Door? Okay.
And I friggin' loved it. Like loved the song. But you know what? As I hadn't seen any of their albums. Like nobody in our clique or friends, had the albums and all that. I've asked them, do you know Zebra? Well, remember that one tape you had there? That's it here in Canada. But now, fast forward to last year, I would say there, Kevin, I've met him like a couple years ago. And
Yeah, probably 2 years ago.
And you showed up in an episode of the Kansas Connection, and you came up with the Zebra album as one of I forget, was it best first album? I forget what the category
I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was.
And I was like, it just flashed a light inside me. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. That one song was friggin' great. So thanks to Kevin, I got into the band, and just like Blue Oyster Cult, I went and bought their albums like almost in no time, except for one that I have only digitally there. So we'll do a ranking. So can you give us a little bit of a background on Zebra here?
Okay. Zebra is I guess you could say they're heavy metal, but they're not like glam metal, even though they were in that time period when that was popular. Mm-hmm. They're a little different, lyrically and as well as sound. They're a little different. They're from New Orleans, and a lot of people think that they're from Long Island, New York. And the funny thing is, they're in the New Orleans or Louisiana Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, or Music Hall of Fame, as well as the Long Island Hall of Fame. So what would happen is that they started here, had a really big following, and then they went up to New York. I guess that's where Atlantic Records is, where they were signed. So they spent a lot of time there on Long Island, and they got a following there too. But everywhere else, they were just like you. Oh, well, I think I knew that one song.
Yeah.
And it's usually Who's Behind the Door.
Oh, yeah.
So they've been around forever. They still play them on the radio here today. As you saw that time when I was in Subway and I messaged you, they still play them on the radio. There's probably about 5 or 6 songs that they play, and you could probably hear them every day if you listen to the radio all day, it's not like they're in heavy rotation, but they're there. And they've always been the same 3 members, now I'm like, the names are gonna get away from me. Randy Jackson, Felix Henneman, and Guy Gelso.
Yeah.
And there was a rumor when I was a kid. I lived in a place called Violet, Louisiana, which is in St. Bernard Parish, if anybody knows what that is, not far from New Orleans. But there was always this rumor that one of them lived around the corner from where I lived. I don't know if that's true or not, but and I never knew who it was, so could never like stalk them and find out when we were kids, you know. But it was always this weird rumor, and it was probably just because hey, they were our famous band from around here or whatever. And people were trying to just connect to them or whatever. But they went on and they did their first album, which is this one that I have 3 copies of at this point. And they started to get kind of popular with Who's Behind the Door. I think it was as I said before, and One More Chance were the 3. They really only had 2 singles, but those 3 songs were played a lot. And
Tell Me What You Want. Also, there's a video for
Tell Me
that.
What You Want, yeah. So they started to get popular, and I believe it was Rolling Stone magazine said that they were Led Zeppelin clones or ripoffs or something like that. Somebody like that. And I wish I could find the article, but I don't have it. I remember reading it. And then after that, they just kind of faded away. And, they were still around here. They were still popular. But as far as everybody else, that killed them. That's what, I've always heard that killed their popularity. And to me, they do have a heavy Led Zeppelin influence. But if you listen to it, there's just as much the Beatles influence and prog rock or whatever.
I find they sound more like Supertramp than Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. So I think it's because of the way Randy Jackson sings that high falsetto thing. That could be compared to what Led Zeppelin, but Led Zeppelin didn't do that all the time. He does it all the time. So yeah, so that's kind of the background of them, and for years and years and years, you could always hear some guy driving down the street in a car with a ridiculously loud radio playing Zebra. It was just always there,
Absolutely zilch here. Like I didn't know about album number 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I knew that one song, and that was it. Like I've seen the cover of the first one.
Right. Well, it's just kind of hard for me to believe that they were so popular here, but not everywhere else.
Exactly.
That's so. And I mean, maybe that happens with a lot of local band kind of things. Not that they were a local band, but they were from this area. And and I've only seen them live once in my whole life, which is bizarre to me because they used to play here all the time, and and maybe that'll pick up again because they're supposed to be having a new album at the end of this year, and re-releasing everything else. That's what I heard.
If that 4th one gets on vinyl, I'll definitely get that.
Yeah, I don't think that one ever was on vinyl. I got it on CD when I saw them. The one time I saw them, in 2003, was when that CD came out, and that's where I got it from. So I didn't buy it from one of the members, but I bought it from somebody that was working in their booth.
The merch, yeah. All right. Well, next time you go to a town meeting and talk to Zebra, can you tell them to actually come up to Canada or something? Like,
well, that's the funny thing. If they spend all this time in New York, why wouldn't they be in Canada as well? But I don't know. Maybe it's weird.
But it's one of those bands that when I discovered, I'm like, wow, like I can listen to those albums.
Right. And I mean, they had the songs to be popular. I don't know what happened. Besides that article that turned people away, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
But like I said, I didn't know of Zebra the band. I only knew it because of a song on a compilation of Masters of Metal. But apart from that, again, zero here in Canada. So, but hopefully we're here to change that and tell you guys about this band. Maybe you don't know them, maybe you don't. But we'll go and rank their discography.
I do have one little pop culture thing that relates to them that's kind of recent, that people may never have not noticed, but if they go back and watch it, the on was it Netflix that had the Karate Kid show? What was it called? Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
First season of Cobra Kai, the main guy Johnny, whatever his last name is, the bad used to be the bad guy. Then they kind of made him the good guy. In I don't know if it's the first episode, but it's one of the early episodes. He had the zebra shirt on, and it's like one of those shirts with the sleeves that go down to here. They used to call them. We used to call them baseball shirts, but that's not really what
The
they're
one
called.
with they're black but white sleeves, and they were all
Oh, yeah,
metal.
well, I think his might be white with red sleeves.
Okay, yeah, I remember those.
But yeah, the sleeves are different color, and they only go like half the arm. Well, he's
Okay.
wearing a zebra shirt in that episode. I
Nice.
think it's the first episode, and I was just like, wow, somebody dug deep for that. And it's the it's the not 3.5. It's the No Telling Lies album cover.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's the one
Hopefully,
pop
yeah.
culture reference I know that they've made it into.
all right then. So shall we do our ranking here? They have 4 albums.
Well, do you want to see what I have before we do that?
What's that?
Do you want to see what I have?
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Because I'll be able to show everything except for one thing that I don't have. So back in 1983, they came out with this album, the self-titled album.
Mhm.
Now, it's gonna fall now. And I got it somewhere between 1983 and 1985. I don't know exactly when, but I know what happened. My sister gave it to me for my birthday, and it was used, and it looked like that. It was just a cassette, no cover, no anything. And this,
Wow.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of dirty around the edge. It was like that when I got it. So whoever had it played the crap out of it, and then I got it and played the crap out of it, and I made a cover, and I made this zebra. This is a zebra's butt, sort of, and
Nice.
it came from National Geographic magazine. And I put the little name on the side, and so this has been around for at least since 1985, but maybe 84, 83. It's been in my collection and still gets played every once in a while. Then I got the No Telling Lies cassette. That's an official one.
Wow.
3.5 on cassette. That's official one. And the live album on cassette. Now, this one I never did find on a CD, and I don't think it was on vinyl as well. So I'm hoping that comes out if they do the reissues. I hope they reissue this as well, because it's pretty good live album. It's long, so it'd probably be 2 records if they did that. And then I got CDs, and I found out actually today that the original CDs are kind of rare, which I don't know why, but they're apparently they were made in Germany somewhere.
Okay.
And so I looked at mine, and I got mine like in the early 90s, I guess, when I got the CDs. So mine aren't the original first round, but I have the first one. They're telling Lies, 3.5. This is the 4th one, Zebra 4.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's called Zebra 4 or just 4, IV. They like Roman numbers on their things. And then this one I found totally by accident, didn't even know it was out. The Best of Zebra, black and white, and are in black and white. And this is like a greatest hits, but there's some demo versions as well on a couple songs. And they don't really sound much different than the original songs. But there's also a couple, maybe 1 or 2 extra songs, I think. And so that one, I've never seen this one anywhere besides the day I found it. It was just like one of those things that was meant to happen. And then the last thing I have on CD that I forgot to tell you about, I don't know if you looked it up, but Randy Jackson had a solo album.
I know of that. Yeah.
It was called China Rain. It's Randy Jackson's China Rain. The name of the album is Bed of Nails. I'm sorry, and it's got some people I don't really know, but they look like heavy metal guys. If you guys can see it,
Yeah.
I'll get that ring there. But it's Teddy Cook on bass and vocals. Ronnie Snow.
He was in Dio. That 45 I sent you. That's with
Okay.
Teddy Cook.
Okay.
And he did
Ronnie
Great White
Snow.
also.
Ronnie Snow on guitar and vocals. and Brian Tichy, Tichy, on drums and vocals, and then Randy Jackson,
Brian
of course,
Tichy,
lead vocals.
isn't he in the Dead Daisies right now, or
I
was?
have no idea. I have no idea. I almost forgot that I had this because it's pretty good. It just was I got it late in the game of that. It was out for a long time, and I had found it one day. Just I was like, oh, that's a guy from Zebra, and I picked it up. It's got some pretty good songs on it, but I
I I've read that existed. Yeah.
yeah. So this is, as far as I know, his only solo album, and then Felix Hanneman apparently did something, but I couldn't find anything about it. I just looked on Wikipedia to see if they had anything else, and it says he had a solo album several years ago, and he joined some other band as well, but I don't know who they are either. So, that's that. And then of course I have these on vinyl. The This one was still sealed when I got it, and it's got a little sticker from the record store, still sealed. It's not sealed anymore. But I only paid $12.99 for that, so you
Wow.
pay more. You're crazy. But one of these was mine, and then the other two I got when I kind of inherited collections from people,
There you go.
and then in various conditions. The covers all look good, but the records themselves are, one of them is in real good condition, the other two are less than likely. I mean, less than good. And then my 3.5 has a huge scratch on the second side, but it plays through it. There's only one little part that pops. You almost don't even notice it. And I was like, I can't believe that this plays because it's got this scratch. But,
Yeah.
but
Well, you're the king of cleaning records, so
yeah, I try. And I don't even have the fancy cleaners or anything. But I can make things work that people would throw away. I don't know how I do it.
there you go. Well, you showed me how to do a couple there, so all right then.
So that's what I got for Zebra.
That's a lot, and I'm glad I asked you to be in this episode.
Right. Well, the only thing I don't have, which I saw it one time, and I don't remember if it was on a record or a CD. It's the King Biscuit Flower Hour. It's a live album that I think it's got 8 or 9 songs, and then it's got an interview that's like 20 minutes long, something like that. And I remember I saw it one time, and for whatever reason, I didn't buy it. And I don't even remember if it was vinyl or CD. And then I never saw it again. And King Biscuit Flower Hour was some like British TV show, I guess, music show. And because I've seen other bands have things that were
Yeah.
on the King Biscuit Flower Hour, live stuff. So they must have been on there in the early 80s.
Oh, there you go.
And so I don't have that, but if I could find it, I would definitely get it. I don't know if it's going to be much different than the other live album, but you don't have an interview, which
There you go.
which I've never heard.
All right. Okay, then. Let's do the ranking here. Since you're my guest, I will make you go first. So, what would be your fourth?
So we're gonna go no live album, just the 4.
Yeah, just the 4 studio albums here.
I'll go with the fourth album, Zebra 4. This one's got a few good songs on it, but it's a little different. They added some saxophone to some of the songs.
Yeah, near the end.
Yeah, it got a little weird, but there's probably 3 good songs like that I really think are good Zebra songs. Light of My Love, Angels Calling, and Waiting to Die. And Waiting to Die is a long song. It's like 7 or 8 minutes long. Something like that. My 3 favorites on this one. But this is definitely number 4.
I will also go with Zebra 4 as their fourth one. My fourth favorite. Not that it's bad, it's just that there's one little it's the one that clicked the least with me. But Arabian Nights, that first song, man, is that ever a killer track. And the guitar solo at the end, I was like, wow, that is
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that is, back when this came out, they were kind of into some weird stuff. Like looking at the inner thing, turns out to be like this little poster thing. There's all this like Buddha and Jesus right there, but there's Buddha and what is that? What is it? I don't know. The Indian goddess. I don't know her name.
yeah.
There's a lot of trippy stuff. And when that first song came out, I was like, I don't know if I like this, and it kind of threw me off, and so it I didn't like the Arabian Nights song at the beginning, like back in the day, but
Oh,
now
when I first heard it, I was like, wow, that is a
uh,
kick-ass intro song.
oh, and there's a tiny little sticker that I put inside there with the hype sticker. It says four includes Arabian Nights and why.
Why? Okay, that's at the end here, yeah.
That's the last
It's the
song.
last song. Yeah.
So it features the first and the last song. That's funny. Um, but yeah, I don't even know if this one was in the stores or not. Back in the day, I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing. I just bought it from them. So, like I said,
Yeah. But
that's my
I
number.
only got it digitally, so um I will say this though, for that one, it's probably the one that's got the least keyboards in it, huh? It's very, it's a little heavier.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe- I
it's
guess the
it's
keyboard
a
players
different.
play.
It's almost a different sounding album than everything
Yeah.
they've ever done. But it's them.
Oh yeah, you recognize the singer's voice right away there.
Yeah,
So
he's definitely recognizable.
still a good one, I find, but just the one it's I've clicked with the least. But those first three songs for me, they're "Who Am I," "Light of My Love," and "Arabian Nights." Those to me are great.
Yeah.
All right then, what do you got for number three?
Okay, so for three, no, my two and three will flip back and forth depending on what minute it is of the day. I love both of these albums, and I go back and forth. And for right now, I'm going to say number three is No Telling Lies. Uh, this one's got Wait Until the Summer's Gone. Bears is the hit from this, which wasn't a huge hit, but it was the hit song they got on the radio. No Telling Lies, and I guess that's the main three for this one. I mean, they still I like everything on this, but those are the three big songs for me on this.
So "No Telling Lies" for is your third one.
That's what I'm gonna go with for number three.
So for me, my third favorite would be, and of course, until you started talking about it, I was calling this 3-point V. Like it didn't click about the 3.5.
Well, the guy when I went to the record store looking for it, the guy was like, "What do you mean 3.5?" And I was like, their third album. He goes, "Oh, I just noticed the third album." And I was like, "You own the record store, man. How can you not know what the name's
Exactly. But yeah, this would, like I said, there's some really good stuff on this. Like I absolutely love like "Can't Live Without." "Time" has got to be is my favorite of this album. "Better Not," "Call."
That's
Uh,
a great song. I love that song.
but to me, the reason I'm putting it number three is I just find they had a keyboard sound that was their own for album number two and three, while the keyboard sounds very typical on this album. I find that's the first impression I got when I first heard it. I was like,
I
okay,
think
that's
they were trying to appeal to more of a mainstream
yeah,
audience with this one, with that one. But you know, it it worked for me. I mean, I don't know why any of this wasn't more popular. I
yeah.
just don't. I don't know.
Well, we're here to hopefully make you buy some new albums, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, everybody get out there and buy Zebra because I got them all already. But if you find King Biscuit Flower Hour, you're required to send one of those copies to me and one to Dan, and then you can have one for yourself. That's
There you
the
go.
whole thing behind this.
All right, so for number three for me, I'm going to put 3.5 or 3 point V. But to me, "Time" is the
Well, like
best.
I said, I told you they like the Roman numbers. You see, they got
Yeah,
the four.
Ivy.
So, it is on the front too in the little thing right there. I didn't realize that.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And
All right, then. Now
you know what? They kept their logo the same. A lot of bands changed their logo after a while. They kept their logo. And this came out probably 20 years after the first one. So, and they kept the same logo. Um, Another little weird thing about Zebra. They used to have commercials for concerts here. Did they have those there? Where when a concert, they
I guess
always
Zebra, I'm not even sure if people know the name.
Oh, no,
Like,
no, just any band, like any band. Did they have radio commercials
oh yeah, yeah,
for?
yeah, yeah.
Because whenever they announced Zebra, they would always call them a horse of a different color, and then they would say zebra.
Nice.
But yeah, that was always funny. You don't hear that much around anymore. There's not
Yeah.
radio
Well, yeah, a
doesn't.
few here and there, but yeah, back then you had record commercials on TV and radio.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, what do you got for number two?
So number two, I got 3.5. And as you said, can't live without. He's making you the full time. Better not call. Better not call is probably the best song I think on this.
It's my second favorite, I would say.
Yeah, time is really good too. I feel like time was on the radio as well, but I don't know on that one.
That guitar riff is so cool on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'll never know. Just I just love this album. I love all of them really.
Yeah.
It's hard to be picky when I
The
just
first three are very solid, if you ask me.
yeah, yeah. It's like I don't know anybody that ever said, "Oh man, I can't stand that band." That heard that band. Everybody usually likes them, so I don't know. Like I said, I guess people believe what Rolling Stone had to say back in the day. I
From
don't
my
know.
point of view, I would say it's the voice that maybe some people. But having said that, this is people have told me that they don't care for the voice, like The Darkness and Merciful Fate. So I'm like,
Right. And I mean, back in 1983, that's what people were doing, and there was a lot of bands that had that high pitched kind of sound to them.
this guy is high pitched. You could.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The only
Yeah.
voice I've seen that sounds like
And
that.
I saw because during the pandemic, they were doing a lot of like little live things from where they would just do it on video.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he still sounded good.
I've seen late videos and he's still.
And I don't know. He's got to be 70 years old, I would think, or close to it, if not. And so not like some of those guys out there that are
Yeah.
still hanging on, trying to do it, and just can't. But
All right,
anyway.
then. What do you got for number two?
that was number two.
Oh, sorry, it's my turn then. My turn. Okay, so this may be controversial, but I'll explain myself.
Oh, if you say the wrong thing. Oh, you said the wrong
This,
thing.
hear me out. Hear me out. This album has the best songs or hit songs. Like,
Of course.
Tell Me What You Want, One More Chance, Slow Down. That was the first time I was like, but that's a cover.
Yeah, it's a cover song, and that one is a little different. Like it almost doesn't really belong. But
It sort of sticks out to me there, but
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
used to it.
right,
As I said before, is great. Who's Behind the Door is to me is their masterpiece of a song.
Right.
When You Get There, that's to me it was a little too simple for me. But Take Your Fingers from My Hair, wow, that's another great song here too.
yes,
The La La song, it's cool but dumb at the same time,
right. That's what I always thought back in the day when I was listening to it. I was like, God, this is the dumbest song, but I love it.
But it's fucking catchy because I'm singing that chorus right now in my head.
La 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 la.
Oh, la 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 la. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, to me, number two will be their first one, and I'll explain myself why for number one. But this is a great album. It's got the best hits on it, according to me. But I'm going to leave it at that for now. So the first one for me is number two. And you're number one, and why?
Of course, my number one is this one that I have 3 of these and 3 more copies or whatever. But again, yes, Zebra, self-titled. This album, the songs that are on, I mean, they had Who's Behind the Door and I think Tell Me What You Want were like the official singles.
Yeah, they had a video for Tell Me What You Want. I know that.
All right. So One More Chance gets played. As I said before, gets played. Take Your Fingers from My Hair gets played on the radio. When You Get There, maybe I can't remember if that was ever on the radio. But to me, like there's some bands that came out like when Def Leppard had Hysteria out, they had what, like 8 singles?
Yeah.
Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood probably had 6 or 7 singles. This should have had that many singles
Yeah.
on it and should have been as popular as those albums as far as I'm concerned. It just there's nothing but even the 2 songs that we said are kind of silly. There you're gonna remember those songs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
I did read though that was Atlantic's best-selling debut album at the time, right?
it had to. It probably was. I mean, it like I said, everybody here bought it. So just on those sales alone, it had to be.
I know it went gold. I know it went gold.
You can, I mean, you maybe not now, but usually you can go to any record store and find copies of this, you know, for not that much, and usually in pretty decent condition. Like the one I have, one of these is in really good condition. That's the one I bought myself. The other 2 are kind of scratchy that were, you know, in somebody's collection that was sitting in the garage for 30 years or whatever. But yeah, I mean, and the it's crazy how many people love this here. And there used to always be the discussion of who was behind the door. Was it God? Was it aliens? Was it something else? And the way, if you look at the video, they make you kind of think it might be some sort of alien
with that
something or other. But
yeah.
then if you see some of the, like especially on the 4th album, if you look at some of the other stuff, maybe they are talking about God. You know, who knows what they're talking about. But their lyrics were much different than a lot of the other stuff that was going on in the 80s, even though they were kind of in the same, you know, grouping with a lot of those bands. They weren't like singing about a lot of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Oh, no. They were quite...
Yep,
and the title of the songs are very weird, as in they probably say the word once in the whole song. It's not like...
Right.
But okay, so then I'm
that will go down as one of my all-time favorite albums until I die. It's just there.
When you showed it on the Kansas Connection that I was like, oh my God, I forgot about those guys. Yeah. Then I started re-listening. I'm like, oh my God, this is good.
Yeah, and I've heard that by a lot of people. Like, you know, that oh yeah, I remember that one song, and then they come back to me later. Oh yeah, I downloaded that album or whatever, and man, it's great all the way through. I said, should have known that 20 years ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 1 will be No Telling Lies, and I'll tell you why that I prefer. So their first one to me had the better hits, but to me as a whole album, to me this one is the more complete. Wait Until the Summer's Gone. I don't like it. I love that song. I'm not saying I don't like it. I know. Bears, I love. I don't care. I like. Lullaby is probably my least favorite, but then No Telling Lies comes on. I was like, it's a riff, like the
His
song.
Voice is so high.
What's that?
His voice goes so high on that song.
Oh yeah. And of course you have what's the drummer's name again here?
Guy Gelso.
Yeah, he sings a song on Little Things, which I love too. Go away, the second last song. Anyway, as a full album, to me, this would be my favorite one. But nothing beats Who's Behind the Door. That song it stuck with me for like since '86 when I first heard it. Then I forgot about it, but I kept going back just for that one song. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that cassette I had, that Zebra song.
Right.
But again, in Canada, zero here, like regarding Zebra.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I can't believe it. Like I didn't I didn't see any videos. Like I saw the videos on YouTube, just to give you an idea.
Yeah. I think they had 3 official videos. Because they did one for Bears, they had one for Who's Behind the Door, and one for
oh, there's more. On YouTube I found Can't Live Without there's a video for that.
Isn't there?
There's a video for
an official video.
The Summer's Gone. Also, he's got like the singer spits out an eyeball after the video.
Oh, that makes sense.
check YouTube. I found like at least there's good 5 official music videos.
Okay.
I found at first because on their website there's only 3.
Right. Well, that's what I
There's a
thought. That
good
was
other two of them.
um. That's interesting. But like I said, these two, I flip flop back and forth which one I like better, and they're not much lower than this. As far as
No,
I'm
I
concerned.
find they're fairly all equal. The first three.
Yeah, they really are a strong band as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. Besides, only thing that I know is that one article was written and then they just faded out. I don't know. And the record company didn't push them, I guess,
I don't
or
know.
what, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I heard nothing.
Well,
So
now you know. And I hope somebody out there is sitting around in their basement somewhere saying, "Let me look at that band up."
check
And
out, like I said, if you want to, again, for me, if you want to check out some good Zebra songs, check out Who's Behind the Door, obviously. Bears is a good one. Um, what was the other one there? Tell Me What You Want.
oh
A
yeah,
lot
one
of
more.
people seem to like also Take Your Fingers from My Hair.
Yeah,
From reaction videos I've seen online,
yeah.
from the
That
third
that's
one,
really
again,
good.
I find
That's a
Time.
slower song.
Pardon?
Just that's a slower song. The "Take Your Fingers from My Hair." It's slow.
No, but there's a kicking in the middle there. There's a
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. They're, I don't find them prog, but they have hints of prog.
Right. That's what I was saying. It was saying
Hints.
before. It was like, you could say they were Led Zeppelin, but they kind of got that Beatles thing. They kind of got some prog in there, and maybe a little hair metal as well. Or glam metal or whatever we call it these
But
days.
voice wise, I find it reminds me of the guy from Supertramp a little bit,
Really.
like the high pitched voice there. But anyway, check out Zebra, man. It's like, to me, I thought it was actually very worth, um, especially those songs there that I've mentioned there. To me, it was another one of those wow moments where I was like, wow, this is all good. The fourth one, I'm still trying to get more into, but again, I got all four of those albums at the same time on the digital there, so I like, I'm going to concentrate on one album, then the next, and the next,
Right.
and
Well, I mean, and if you're somebody that doesn't have any of them, you should be able to find them relatively cheap. I mean, the they are reissuing the albums supposedly at the end of this year, and they may go up in price then. But the originals, I mean, you could probably get this one for under $20.
yeah,
Like I said, I got this one for $12.99 a couple years ago. Actually, it's got a date on it, 5/20. So in 2020, I got it for $12.99. This one, I don't remember what I got for, but you can usually find them all
I found them fairly a good price on
maybe 15
Discogs.
bucks. $15 for these, and then this one probably maybe around 20. And various states of
Yeah,
condition, of course. But here they were probably played a lot more than other places. So you find them somewhere else, they might be in much better condition. But I find these all the time around. I don't usually buy them. Like I said, I got 3 copies of this, but 2 of them came from people's, giving me their collections or whatever. But you should. I mean, if you got 30, $40, you should probably be able to get all 3 of them. And
I've
then
never
depend.
seen. They're not here in stores. I can tell you that. We've talked.
Yeah, well, they're probably not in a lot of stores, around, but down here they are because everybody had them,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
but in other places they might not. Now, who knows what's going to happen when they do these reissues? Are they going to reissue just a couple, 100 copies, 1,000 copies, or a bunch? I don't know what the plan is for any of that.
We'll
Because I know
see.
some of these bands they'll put out 2,000 copies of something, and then once that sells out, you think, oh, I missed it, and then they come out with a different color.
Yeah, another variant.
And bands like this, that seems to happen a lot, because of like the Real Gone Music thing where we go through
Yeah.
that Firehouse that's on there. I think it's black vinyl.
What's
I
the what?
guarantee. Is it black vinyl?
The
The fire.
firehouse?
Yeah.
No, it's red and black smoke.
Okay. So when that sells out, I guarantee about 6 months they're going to come out with another color. They do that all the time on
Oh
there.
yeah, I
They're,
know.
there's stuff on there that I bought that was like there was only like 200 copies they were selling. I was like, oh god, I gotta buy it because I have the fear of missing out thing as well as you.
Yeah.
And and I bought it, and then a couple months later they come out with a different color that I like better. And I was like, oh, I should have just got that one. So, and they're usually not worth a ton of money, but and that's not why I buy them anyway. But they just make it sound like it's they only got a few and they'll be gone. So
I get the one copy and that's it now. So
yeah.
All right. Well, there's our ranking, folks. Like I said, it's one of these bands here. It's sort of it's a ranking episode, also at the same time, kind of a revisiting forgotten bands, depending where you live in the world. They're not forgotten in New Orleans where Kevin is, but here,
well, they weren't even thought of back where you are.
check them out. Like, to me, it's one of those, especially those first 3 albums. There's some great stuff on that here.
Yeah. So. And I mean, if you can't find those albums and you happen to find this right here, you'll get a good bit of each one of them. Mm-hmm. All the hits from those albums are on this. There's a song called "Children of the Heart," which was from the 3.5 sessions, and then Riverside was a 3.5 pre-production demo. So those are 2 new songs that were added to this. So this might be, I don't, like I said, I don't know if this was available everywhere or whatever. It says Mayhem Records, New York. So I don't know.
I know that company. I've heard of.
But if if you can't get all the others and you just want one CD or whatever, get that. I mean, I'm sure you could download most of it from iTunes or something. Yeah. Probably all of it. But like I said before, as Zebra said before, if you find the King Biscuit Flower Hour, you need to send me a copy of that.
There you go. And of course, next time you go to the New Orleans town meeting and you talk to Zebra, let him know. Tell him to come to friggin' Canada. Tell him, I got a good friend, Dan, that wants to see you guys live.
Canada needs a concert. He doesn't have a lot of money right now, but he needs you to come there.
Yeah. I'll make. But anyway, okay. Well, anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me for this here.
Glad to do it.
Hopefully, we've learned a little bit more about this great band called Zebra. Once again, Kevin from Sonic Boom TV. I will go put his link on the bottom here, so you can check out his website, or not his website, his YouTube channel.
He does have a website that doesn't do anything right now.
But anyway, check out his YouTube channel here too. He's got some good finds, and there you go. So thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you guys next time. And here's my empty glass. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cup.